All right, Bruce, it's finally time to get this stuff to the paint shop. So Cody down at Dynamic Collision is waiting on us for Monday. He's going to paint this the black diamond, and I think I've got it all ready. I've got it on these jigs. Cliff Reed from Reed's Towing is going to come get these and take them to them in the morning, Thursday morning, and he'll come in next week on Monday and paint all this. I've got everything where he can get to it all the way around. Your tank, all your tank will be the black, plus the inside of your dash, which is the face of this tank, and all the body panels I think they can get to. I've got it where the hood, where he can paint all the way around this hood, raise it up, paint around my lips, paint around the hinges, paint the louvers inside and around, open the doors, paint the hinges on both sides. I think I've got it ready for him to paint all the way around. Everything is ready just to be sealed, based, and cleared. So I'll give you a quick walk around of all this, show you how it looks, and then I've got a whole stack of parts over here in the back that are going to be painted as well. So let me give you a closer look. The body, the jams, all of it's going to be painted at one time. Well, I got the hood set, the doors open and close, trunk lid, you can get all the way around it. Paint in one shot. All my jams around my trunk, under my fenders, all that's going to be the black. And then back here in the back, your back fenders are not going in this run, they're just going to be solid black, but these are all getting the black diamond paint. And your visor, going to do the black. I'm even going to do your dash, inside dash in black, and I think with that leather interior and all, that's going to look so good. So and all these parts are sanded and ready to go. Everything has been sanded with 320, then hand blended, then 400, and hand blended, and then red scuff pad. Been bouncing back and forth on this thing to kind of keep it moving forward. So while the body is being painted at Dynamic, I'm going to be working on the sheet metal on this part. When I did the mock-up to get all the panels lined up, I had to mock the entire car up, and to get all that. There was some things that had to be done to this sheet metal that I couldn't do with it all together. So I just put tape on it and arrows and stuff on what I had to do on it. And then now's the time, now that all the body's off and everything's off of it, I can go in there and do this work, and it saves me from having to do a couple of mock-ups. This lower panel right here, this one right here, is a little longer than the original. It's either it's a little longer or these bolt holes are in the wrong spot. And it's got it just right up against the frame just a little bit right there. So I'm going to have to elongate these holes, move these holes, weld them back up. You know, I thought I was about done with all this metalwork and I forgot about this, but every single piece of the aftermarket parts didn't fit whatsoever. And I've had, like these fenders, I've had to split them here and bring this out, split it there, and bring that out. When I bolted those on, it was so short right here, it pulled the whole fender up. This bar wouldn't even go in. Same on this side, you know. So I added almost a half an inch of a pie cut on both of these just so they would bolt in to where they're at. And then the two original pieces that we have for the splashes that weren't available, they're damaged up pretty good. So I've got to do a little bit of body work on those, or metal work on those, and then get to skimming the rest of this. So I'm gonna go in here and work on this panel right here, and hopefully this will be the last of the metal work. Like, and you can see, like this panel right here, I've had to go in there and add that, rebuild that lip down through there, weld in a new one. You can see how much damage right here. I've done a lot of shrinking, and I've still got to do some dollying and stuff there, a little bit here. The ends of these fenders weren't long enough, so I had to weld and bring those out a little bit. Had to kind of slice it down through here, slice it through here, sliced it here, and open that up almost a half an inch to get that to turn. This was so far this way, when it tightened it up, it just would draw that whole fender up, and you couldn't even get it on there. And then same up here, I had to slice it here and turn this a little bit because this was turned in so bad I couldn't get it to bolt in. So and then you can see all the work I've got to do right in here. I'm going to dolly out a lot of that. You really don't see much of it, so I'm going to try not to put a lot of time in it, but I've got to get the oil canning out of it and the high spots down. And then this had a little bit right here where I had to do some shrinking with a torch. Show you what I'm doing here. This is the one. It's set back further than it was originally. Either this panel or this panel. I think they're both aftermarket. And you can see it's touching here and touching there. So I'm going to try to move that corner in and get it away from it. and I've already had to move these holes here on the side quite a bit just to get it to there. So I'll have to weld back up those holes and hopefully not have to move these holes, but there's a chance I'm going to have to move those holes as well and bring this whole panel forward just a little bit. But everything is bolted together, and you can see how close it is. And this is after I've done worked it. I'm finally getting all the last parts of the sheet metal done, and I've got it tore off your running gear here, and I've still got to do the brake repair in the front where those rods and stuff were wore out. And I don't remember if I do any in the rear or not, but I think it was just in the front. And then the panel that this was an aftermarket panel, and the holes in the side here were in the wrong spot, so I had to weld it up and relocate the side holes. Reshape it in the corners, change this landing a little bit, move it because it was hitting up against the frame, and then kind of move this forward in doing so. So now I've got all that done, all the welding done. I've got it all blocked. It's all solid. Got all the oil canning out of it, and I've got it pre-cleaned and sanded, and then re-pre-cleaned. So this is ready to get some skim coating on where I've had to do all these repairs. Then over here I've made a jig for your front fender. So let me show you how that looks, because I can't do the body work with it on here because I still have to do a little dollying. I did all that while I took advantage of the mock-up a long time ago, knowing that later when they came off I had to do a little work underneath. So let me show you how that's looking. All looking real good. I've done a huge amount of work on these. These got bent as well. I guess they were still on here when I got it, and I guess they've been picked up, moved around, and bent, and they had to be indexed on the running board, which had to be indexed on the splash, and it was a lot to get those back where they're at. This one here that holds that fender, it was bent up. I had to straighten it and reshape it like the other one, and it's got to lay dead flat in that fender, or it pulls it up kind of oddly. And then I made a jig for the front fenders because of all the work I had to do in here. And then while I had them off, I went ahead and dollied them and sanded the inside of it and got all that prepped and got it laying like it would be on the car here, and just put a light little skim coat in a few little spots on this, and then go ahead and high build it. And I'll probably block it right there where it is. I've got the fenders supported up where they need to be and all that. So this is going to work out pretty good. All right, Bruce, I've done a lot on the front fenders. I made this little jig, and this is where I had to mock it all up. And I've got those boards representing the frame rails because the panels in here, I've got them in the booth now, and I've got all the metal work, and I've skimmed and blocked them several times and shaped and moved, and I've got the outer side just about ready for primer. I mean, just basically a scuff, and it's ready for the high build. And I'm going to go ahead and do the high build inside here. And so I've got this scuffed. I'll pre-clean it, but it's sanded with 80 grit, then scuffed. And I just did a quick little bit of work on where some of these blends were. This one here, I had to do some work down here to push all that crown up in the nose. It had been hit, and a little damage here and a little around here, and added a little around here when I did this, when I had to cut and move to match those two together, because these are aftermarket. And but it's nice here. And we'll put some type of undercoating under there or something. And then here is these are the original splashes because the other ones weren't available. And this one was wrinkled up right here pretty good. And I've straightened it out, and the lip was torn and wrinkled, and it was hit right in here and just had damage all down the sides and really back there in the back. So I've shrank as much as I could and got it as flat as I could. And then you can see on the other one, I skimmed them and blocked them on those boards that I've got on that jig, which I'll have it back on the jig here tomorrow to get the outside sprayed and be able to work it. But you can see it was hit right here pretty good. Did a lot of shrinking here, around here. All this corner was wrinkled up. And that's tough to do in a sheet metal with no inner panel, and it's, gosh, probably 20 gauge. It's super thin and been damaged up, so it come out pretty good. And then here's this one, and then this front piece, which I had to modify quite a bit, and I'm ready to prime both sides of it. I just had to move these holes, and then did the work on this side to blend all that back in. So yeah, I'll get this primer on here and then flip them over and show you how the rest of it's looking. Alright, Bruce, finally got the chapter closed on the inside of these parts where I did all the stretching and dolly and shrinking and metal work. I sanded all that down, skimmed a few little small spots on the inside, tried to dolly all the metal the best I could, and then hand sanded it all with 80, scuffed it, pre-cleaned it, and then one, maybe two in some spots, real heavy, smooth coat of that urethane primer. And then I can just come back and scuff this, and we can put whatever we're going to put on there, whatever type of undercover material or whatever you want to put under there. Well, Bruce, it's finally time to prime this stuff. It's been a lot of work. Even though these were new fenders, they were a little misshapen here and tooling marks there and a bunch of tooling marks down this edge, a little misshapen here. Had to cut it here and move that over, and then the split I did here and the split I did up there and here and all down through there, and little dings from just storage. And then these are the original pieces, and these are close to 100 years old, and they were damaged a little down through here and smashed here, and it was wrinkled up pretty good up here, you know, and hit and damaged. And this is really thin, so it's really hard to deal with trying to shrink it and straighten it. So I just did a light skim over it, and I'm going to get some high build on it and see how it does. Some damage just a little bit everywhere, but these were jacked up pretty good. All right, Bruce, give you the first look of our panels in high build, and they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. I got a few little spots. Once I start guide coating, I'm going to guide coat all this. I'll see any of my other little imperfections that we have, but it's pretty smooth. All this reshaping all down in here and stuff, it takes a lot because it's all inset panels and recesses. This is coming out pretty good. So I've done the fenders just like I've done the entire car. I've got all the panels to fit, slice and cut when need to be slice and cut. Got all the metal shrunk and as low as possible, being that, you know, it is just thin, flat metal, so that's been a little task in itself. Then once I got it all flat, I built this jig to reproduce the rails that they're going to be sitting on, and then I did a little more metal work on that like that, then sanded it all with 80 grit, pre-cleaned it, and then skimmed everywhere and blocked and skimmed and blocked and skimmed to reshape all this. I had to reshape around the lips, a lot of areas on here. And then once I got that done, then I did 80 grit and 120 grit. Then I even scuff padded it so I get all in the corners. Pre-cleaned it real good. Then I shot 2 coats of the UPO high build urethane primer and 2 nice big fat wet coats. Then I've come in here and I've got 180, I think is what I've got on here now. Yeah, 180. And I'm sculpting and guide coating all this with 180. It's cutting fast, it's cutting flat, and it's revealing anything that was in that coat, the first 2 coats of primer that I put in. And I'm going to take advantage of all the thickness of that primer by using that 180 as fast as it cuts, and I'll just get it all the way back down as low as possible, and then I'm going to take it back in there. I've got a few little spots I'm going to fill, and then take it back in there, then I'm going to prime it again, and then hopefully cut it with whatever we're going to be painting with, like a 400. So if I do 320 and then come back all over it with 400, I think it should be that clean. If it doesn't come out this clean, I'll do one more prime. I'll prime it one more time, come back and cut it with 180 one more time, then we'll be ready to do the prime. It's just so much body work and so much metal moving on this that I may have to do one more time. You can see up here at the guide coat, I've got the guide coat all on it really good so I can get to every little area. I've guide coated every little inch of it. And then here I've cut it all off, reshaping. I've got a few little pits in it here I'm going to skim. A little spot I worked here. I'm still doing a little bit of metal moving, not much. Everywhere you see a piece of tape, it's just a little spot I want to raise and take full advantage of my primer so I can raise that in a little a glazing compound. And then my next coat of primer I hope is going to come out pretty clean. And had a little spot here. The tooling in all this lip right here has just got so much chatter in it, so I'm trying to reshape it because you kind of see where it's a little high here and then low here and a little piece gone there. That's just where they stamp that out. Got some tooling marks. Hopefully get all those out. But it's coming out pretty good. All this is coming out real nice. So we'll get this other side cut. and get it back in the booth, and then we'll see if we can't get this thing ready to paint. You see, I've just barely broke through. I've utilized every bit of that primer down to all the way down to the metal, and then the little spots I've filled just to raise them up a little bit. But I think I'm in pretty good shape. I think by the time I put the high build on this last time and then do that last guide coat, these are going to be in pretty good shape. And then same on that piece. That piece is highly modified and custom fit to the car now, and had a little bit of a low spot right there and a little bit there, and I'm going to fill those. I've already filled those and just prime over all that. And we have a lot of work in this piece right here. It didn't fit in the box that come in, but it fits on there now pretty good.